Hey guys, Bud here with Dependable Lawn Care, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about some of my Ryobi 18V plus tools that I use. These aren't tools that you would typically maybe think of for commercial use, or if you're running a business. These are more of what most people would think of as homeowner grade tools. But I've found some tools, these tools specifically, that I use quite a bit in my business and around the house, and I feel like they deserve a mention as far as the business realm goes. So I'm just going to show you what I have, talk about them a little bit, and how much they've been useful in my business. And of course, Ryobi isn't the only brand out there. There are a lot of other brands, but I've had good luck with Ryobi. So the tool here that I've had the longest is actually this Ryobi power inflator. And didn't mean to do that, but the battery that I have on it, I want to show you guys this, because this battery is a Ryobi replacement battery. It's not a Ryobi brand. So I wanted to show you the part number and everything. It does have the little push button on it. It'd be kind of hard to do this stuff one-handed, but a little push button that shows you if the battery's charged up or not. So but this was a replacement battery that I ordered off of Amazon, and I've actually got a couple more of these coming. They're a 6.0 amp hour battery, quite a bit cheaper than the Ryobi brand. But anyways, getting back to this compressor, this thing has been useful so many times when it comes to my lawn mowing trailer. I can't tell you how many times I've aired up lawnmower tires, trailer tires. I've even aired up a truck tire one time. It got low enough to set off the low air alarm on my truck, and we were on a road trip and I had it in my toolbox, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna try it. So I will tell you, it took about 10 minutes to put, I believe it was 15 PSI in a truck tire, but it did do it, and it did it on one battery. Used up about half the battery life, but I was able to get it done, stay on the road, and actually didn't have to do anything till I got home and got the slow leak fixed. So now I'm not going to discuss prices, guys, because I will tell you I ordered all of these off of Amazon, but I have a Prime membership because I use Amazon a lot, and the price is going to vary whether or not you have Amazon Prime and when you buy it. What I paid for that thing, I think it was last year or the year before, it's not going to be the same price now. So I'm just not even going to talk about prices because those change. But I just will say that this thing is handy as heck, and I keep it in the toolbox on my truck because I'd say probably once a month I end up using that thing on something, and it's just handy to have. The other thing that I've had for a while, I actually purchased this last year and then never did a video on it because I wanted to try it for a while, but this is the Ryobi 18V Oneplus grease gun. And show you a couple things that I've added to it. So this thing I use every week. I have used it every week since I bought it, and that is what I use doing all my lubricating on my stand-on mowers and on my FW15. So it's recommended that every 10 hours on the Ferris mowers that you grease the spindles. There's other lubrication points that you grease at different time intervals, but the spindles at the very least, I grease those every week. When I change the blades, I grease the spindles. It's just a good habit to be in. I don't have a greasy mess, so I know I'm not over greasing, and I don't overdo it. I just want to make sure that I'm consistently putting some grease in those spindles. So this thing is freaking awesome, guys. So after over a year of maintenance, I only have to charge the battery about once a year. That's how long that battery goes when you're just using this thing for weekly maintenance. I added let's see if I can show you here, the lock and lube, which is this little piece right here. Basically, when you're on a grease fitting, it locks on. So you squeeze the handle, put it on your Zerk fitting, let go of it, and it's locked on. That is extremely handy when you're in awkward places and you're trying to keep the grease gun on something. And then the other thing that I bought is this little 90-degree fitting. And I don't remember if that's by Lube or if that was a different brand. Again, ordered it off of Amazon. But the spindles that are hard to get to, you actually slide it onto the Zerk fitting that way. So your Zerk fitting would be facing up, right? And you slide it on. And there are a lot of places where you just can't get your grease gun onto the fitting because there's not enough clearance, not enough space, especially on spindles, on decks. So this thing is great. On my 52-inch mower, this is actually what I use to grease all 3 spindles because there's not a lot of room above them to come straight down. So I can just slide that on and grease them up. So again, that's something that I've used a lot, and I really love that thing. Saved me a lot of manual labor on, you know, a hand crank grease gun. You can have one hand on the fitting and one hand on the trigger, and you know, it's just so much easier than a grease gun. It does have the built-in light, another little feature on it, LED light, so you can just gently touch the trigger to turn on the light, or, you know, squeeze the trigger, of course, and start pumping out grease. Somebody's going to ask, so I'll just show you real quick. I use the Red and Tacky No. 2 Lucas grease. I buy it by the case. I probably go through about a tube or 2 a quarter. So anyway, that's what I run in it. These next 2 tools I just got. The 18 plus volt Ryobi blower. This is just the, you know, the baseline blower that they sell. It's the cheapest one. I don't take this out in the trailer. I don't take it out on jobs. What I use this for is cleaning out the floor in my garage. And then you guys have seen in a lot of my videos, this is my little work area. This little, it's about a 8-foot by 12-foot concrete pad. And I've got my blacksmithing stuff set up out here and all of that. But this is where I do all of my mower maintenance. I've got a chain hoist up here. I just keep it hung up over here out of the way. But I've got a chain hoist right here. So I pull my mowers up. I lift them up with a chain hoist. Put a block under there for safety. And then I do all of my maintenance right here. And so it gets messy, you know, when I'm scraping the decks out and all the other stuff that I'm doing. I use that little handheld blower to clean off my little pad. I also use it on the deck, which is a 12 by 45 foot deck, and use it to blow the deck off, keep it cleaned off, and it works great. You know, I mean, it's not a backpack blower. It's not a big time blower. But for just stuff around the house, that thing is invaluable. Easy to use. You just pick it up, pull the trigger, and go. Super simple. So the other thing that I recently purchased, and this is for small cleanup jobs. I actually burned up my smallest chainsaw, and so I was thinking about replacing it with a battery-powered one anyway, and decided, since I already have the Ryobi 18 volt tools, that I would replace it with a Ryobi 18 volt chainsaw. You know, already got the batteries. This is just a 10-inch bar, so it's a baby, you know, little saw. And honestly, guys, what I'm using it for is like cutting off small saplings, you know, up to 2 or 3 inches in diameter that grow up around outbuildings and things like that we maintenance. Kind of give you a quick look around of the whole thing. It's super lightweight. You've got a little reservoir right here. You put your bar oil in there, and then it's just got a bubble on top. And every time you push that bubble, it pushes out lube, the bar lube on the bar. Your battery is right here. I've got a 4 amp hour battery in it right now, but that's where your battery goes. The handle is nice and big. You know, you can use it at any angle. The guard does not move or lock like a mechanical chainsaw would. So anyways, you just slide your battery in here, lock it in, you're good to go. It's quiet. The way you operate it, you got a little slide switch here, so you pull that back. Okay, so it's not real loud. I like that about it. The wrench that you use for taking the guard off and also for adjusting the bar is right here. Got a little Allen wrench with a screwdriver end built into it. So that's right there, locked in where it can't go anywhere. And you know, it's nothing fancy, guys. It's just a little battery-powered 18-volt chainsaw, but the little thing works. And for what I need it for, it's perfect. I don't have to fire up a chainsaw. I don't have to worry about having, you know, the mixed fuel for it or anything like that. I just go out, chop off what I need to chop off, throw it back in the trailer. It's just handy, perfect little chainsaw. You know, the next size up in these is a 40 volt, I believe, and then you can get longer bars and stuff like that. I think they go from, you know, you can get a 12-inch bar, 14, 16, and then the battery size keeps jumping up. But I wanted something that would work with the batteries I already have, and that's why I went with the 18 volt. And a 10-inch bar is more than enough. If I can't cut off what I need to cut off with this, then I'll pull out the big 562 Husqvarna and do some real work. But for small jobs, little cleanups and stuff like that, this thing is perfect for me. The scraggly little tree that needs to go, just so you know, it's about a 2-inch thick tree up here on top of this bend, and then at the base it's about 4 inches. So that's what we're going to be cutting off. Got all my safety gear on, so let's do this. Okay, so handled that pretty easy. All right, so I'm actually going to go ahead and finish cutting this up, but that was all one-handed and easy to use. But one thing I noticed is that it's got plenty of torque. Like, you know, you don't feel like the chainsaw is gonna, or the chain is gonna hang up and stop it. So it's got plenty of torque, but it does seem like it has kind of a slow rotation, if that makes any sense. But cuts just great. I mean, this is quite a bit bigger than what I purchased it for, and did a fine job on it. So just out of curiosity, we'll see how much battery's left after that. Actually still at 3 bars. So basically that used up about a fourth of the battery, you know, cutting the top off, cutting the limbs off at the fork, and then what I've cut off here so far. So like I said, I'm going to go ahead and finish cutting this up. And but that's the chainsaw, guys. That's the Ryobi 18 volt Oneplus chainsaw. Thanks for watching. Get out there and make some money, and we'll catch you on the next one.